Hello, friend. Gate 44, the Gate of Alertness. So, coming to meet. So, this is our last gate in the quarter of bonding. So, I'll do a synthesis of it after I'm done this gate. So, we have Gate 44. This is a really fascinating, well, I think they're all fascinating, but I love the spleen. I love its it's a ginormous amount of potential awareness that sits in the spleen. So this gate is the gate of memory, and it remembers patterns for living so that we can be successful on the material plane. This is part of the tribal circuitry. Remember, the tribal circuitry is about materialism. Our physical meat suits that we jumped into on this 3D material plane, they need things. So this meat suit needs water, it needs food, it would prefer shelter. I know that there's some very interesting cases of human beings in India that just use the sun, and they're sun gazers, and they can get all the energy that they need through that. Some of us, like myself, I'm not that evolved. So I actually need fuel. I need food. I need water. I need shelter. And these are just our base needs that we need. We need bonding. We need contracts. We need these things as a tribal entity on this planet. So the 44th gate brings this really interesting instinctual awareness that in order for the tribe to transform, there has to be a memory bank. And that memory bank, as I get to the not self and stuff, it's not here to hold you back. It's to be alert of the patterns. It's almost like a trial and error kind of gate, really. What's working and what's not, what needs to be transmitted to the tribe, what memories need to be transmitted to the tribe in order to have success. If we are building wells, and because we need water and we're digging for water, and we continuously make the mistake of digging for water in the wrong spot, we're not going to be alive very much longer. But if we use that memory and that information and that wisdom and go, okay, well, this is how we did it the incorrect way, this is how we can do it the correct way, and then you get to, as Gate 44, recall this information, remember it, and then, bring it forward and share it with your tribe so that everybody can transform, and that's what you get to transmit to your tribe. So you have this instinct. So you instinctively move the potential on the material plane to the possibility. So there's all kinds of potential, right? And we're moving that potential into the possibility. What is the possibility of finding water, when we dig here? So what you remember or transmit shapes the tribe's material orientation. So listen to that. What you remember or transmit shapes the tribe's material orientation. So if something's not working and you're repeating the pattern, the material orientation of the tribe is going to suffer. But if you remember what's happening and the pattern gets to be adjusted, then all of a sudden the tribe has this powerful presence in the world. Really, the 44th gate is, controlling the ego. It's always trying to tamper down that egoism, right? So it's not about, peacock feathers. It's about, okay, how can we be successful on this material plane? The ego in most spiritual teachings will tell you that it's bad. And what design says is it's not that the ego is bad. It is the not self that's bad. It's the conformity, it's the homogenization, it's the conditioning that takes us into a place that's incorrect. We need the ego. It kind of gets us up in the morning, kicks us in the ass, and says, let's move on. Some of us have it defined, some of us don't. It's not that you don't have willpower from the ego, it's just that it's not always consistent if it's not defined. We all have everything in the chart. It's just whether or not it's activated, and that activation is a place that we can rely on. And where it's not activated, that's just a place of great wisdom. And that wisdom is going to, accumulate over your lifetime, and that energy is going to come and go throughout your life. So there's a fear here, of course. There's a fear here. This is the spleen. It's all full of fear. And that fear isn't built to hold you back. It's built for an awareness. So it's the fear of yesterday. So you help to alleviate the fears of yesterday by remembering that the health and well-being of the tribe goes hand in hand with material security. Food, water, shelter, bonding, contracts. That is the material plane. So supporting the tribe with your awareness will bring you recognition. So when you have this gate activated, it's about an awareness, always, when it sits in the spleen, right? Spleen is an awareness center. Ajna is an awareness center. The solar plex is moving, more so from a motor into an awareness center. So there's an awareness there as well. So it's about paying attention to health and wellness. I know many, many, many people with the spleen defined, and they take their health and wellness for granted because that is how we are conditioned. What we have, we take for granted. How many of us take our family for granted, or our friends for granted, or whatever we have for granted? And then all of a sudden when it's not there, it's like, oh, I should have done this, or I could have said that, or blah, 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 right? Same thing in design. The spleen is keeping you healthy and safe when you have it defined. So instead of taking it for granted, tap into it, use its massive amount of awareness so that you get to present and teach and share and support and empower based off of the wisdom that's inside that little tiny energy center. So the not self, so what happens is that there isn't an awareness. So then all of a sudden the ego goes crazy, and the fear of yesterday holds you back. So the not self here looks, I shouldn't say the ego goes crazy. That's not what I wanted to say. The not self goes crazy about all kinds of stuff in the past. Okay? And that continuous loop happens, and instead of having an awareness of the experiences, they start to shape and hold you back. We see this like, this is the world, right? And this is, $1 billion industry in spirituality, how to, walk, step through your fears and let go. It's not about letting go. It is about seeing the experience for an experience and using that experience as a building block for today. If you didn't have that experience, you would not be where you are today. Now, maybe today isn't a great place, but it's probably better than what it was. Yes, there can be situations where it's worse, but it's an experience that you're having. It's not the fears in the spleen when it is undefined, or even when it is defined. The fears aren't built to hold you back. They're built to be little tiny bricks to, you know, to your building up your stairs to get to your platform, to get to your platform, to get to your platform. Here you are, you're here today, and you get to move up with every experience. So the experience is written in the energetic field that you're walking around with, and that's okay. So you can't let it go, but you get to redefine and reshape it in a way that is healthy for you. And how do you do that? By today, in this moment, right where you are, for me, feeling my ass in the seat, I get to live from a place of satisfaction. And when that satisfaction is permeating the cellular structure of my life, then no matter what happened in the past or what's going to be placed in the future, it's all about satisfaction right now. Because that's all you have. You don't have a past, you don't have a future. You have this moment. You have this moment. You know, what took place in your life happened so that you could be aware and witness and watch and use those experiences to elevate your game. To elevate your game. Good, bad, or indifferent. Doesn't matter. Every interaction, it's all elevating your game. So this is my design. If anything intrigues you or you want to move forward and learn more about yourself, there's just a few of the things that I do. All right. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again.